Yeah, I'm finishing off the lab video, but anyway. So, with all them different discoveries, it'll appear to our mind without us realizing, like, this is what things is, what things are, when just like anything else, it's an accumulation of things. There's no one set thing that things are based off of, just like life itself. What life is based off of is not a thing. God is not a thing, but yet that's what all things is. God is no thing, but yet that's what all things is. And when I say God, I'm not saying God in the way that, oh, this is God, like I was taught, as much as I'm saying what you're taught and what everybody else is taught, putting it all together. I'm referring to something not based on the words I'm saying, but based on what I know, and using the words to communicate it for people to be able to relate and understand what I'm saying, and to relate to what I'm saying. Everything ain't made for everybody at every time. People have said things where I wasn't receiving it for whatever reason at the time. And whatever reasons it was at the time that I didn't receive what they saying, them ain't things by themselves to say, oh, this is why I didn't receive it. Even me receiving it is not a thing by itself. Because me receiving it means what else? And that means what else? And that means what else? God is all things, but God is no thing. Or better yet, 'cause I know a lot of folk can relate to this. Like, you should stop smoking, right? And so everything telling you, but nothing is telling you at the same time. Let's say that's the way. Let's say that's God, right? For people who on their level of receiving, that's God. And once they get that, then it's about what comes after that. Because it's not about somebody being a set way. It's about, are you the wind blowing, or you one of these trees that's planted here that eventually, what I'm saying, loses leaves. The wind may stop blowing, but then again, the wind never stop blowing. The wind blows, but you don't know which way it's blowing. As the scripture says, as Jesus says in the New Testament. But it's really, it's all things but no things. Nothing changes, neither does nothing not change. When you get it, you ain't got it. But when you ain't got it, you got it. What you know, you actually don't know. But that which you don't know is all that you know. It's for those who get it. That's what it's for those who get it. I always found myself as someone who, in my experiences, third perspective, I look like a person who would teach based on my experiences. Not because I know anything or whatever, but whatever I get to know, I end up in. And I'm just this just one of the many infinite things when I end up knowing something. Not when I get to know it and I'm getting familiar, but after a while I get to know it. It don't saturate it. It's a part of me, like life itself. I meet people who appear to be on the people who appear to be where I was when I was getting to know versus where I was or where I'm at when I know. That's an example of, one of many examples of, why I would see myself as a teacher. And not that that is a, to further express whatever it is to be expressed. Not that I could, should, or would be a teacher, but based on how we put things, that's what I'm saying that based off of. Cause otherwise, ain't no teacher. It's a teacher when you don't know, but when you know, what is a teacher? What are they teaching? You know, everybody know, right? And let's say everybody do know, but what it is that we think that knowing is one thing and everything is something else. When all things is knowing, knowing is God. God is all things. Knowing is like space. God, space is within and without everything. The space in you don't differ from a space in the square container, which also don't differ from the space in a square container. And just like if you break you down, just like you break those containers down, you break it down and there's nothing left but the parts that you broke down. And you put things back together to see what they are. Now, based on my limitations, I can say I don't know what it is to put a human back together. But putting those containers back together, you see what things really are. You see things from its true nature and what it really is. You know, you see the waters and then the waves that come from it and what it really is. We thought it was waves in the water, but it's the ocean the whole time. One thing to remember, this is called the tangent line. This might be the format, but if I develop another format, that's what it's gonna be. But until I develop and come up with a format for all of this, speaking off inspiration, it's gonna be the tangent line. But get with it to get listeners, man.